Good morning. Who in here likes change? Mo, raise your hand. Okay, Mo likes change. But we do like change. Mo, do you want to raise?
Sure, why not?
But that's change. We like change if it's good. What we don't like is loss. That's what we're concerned about. And too often people look at change as loss. And so part of our jobs as leaders is to show them that that change doesn't equate to loss. And, you know, at Arizona DOT, sometimes we've been successful, other times we have not. But, you know, that really jumped at me, you know, when I heard that the change isn't what's scaring people, it's the fear of the loss. So at ADOT, we have a management system. And we've gone through tools, and those tools are Kaizen, Gimp, huddles, visual workplace, 5S, standard work, problem solving, leader standard work, and how do we keep score. And after I talked to Mo yesterday, I said, I have to change my presentation because this is starting at our tools, but how do we get there? So we had a new governor almost 4 years ago. And he came in with a vision. We have to make business work government work like a business. He was the CEO of Washto Creamery. My son thought, hey, well, I'll get ice cream more often. That hasn't happened. How do we move government like business? So the first thing he did is had us read a book. All the senior leadership in all of his agencies read John Bernard's book, Government That Works. Well, I figured I'd be an expert. I read the book, and no. So we did training. We brought in each agency were assigned a consultant. Our consultants are here in the front row, Honsha, and they did training of the senior leadership. So now I've read a book. I've had 7 full days of training. I've had 7 days that we talked about our training, and we're going, do I really know much? And it came out that I didn't. Where we learned is when we started doing and coaching. So the next round of training, instead of having a Honsha coach or a consultant coach for our employees, they said, Dallas, you have to be a coach. Well, I just learned this stuff. I don't know it. No. You're going to learn by doing. And you have a coach. He's still there to help you if you need it. That's how you're going to get there. So we started, the 36 of us that were in the first round, we were assigned 3 people, and we went to the second round. And we have done that as we've gone through. As we've grown as the agency, now we've hired our own folks and trained our own folks to be both trainers and coaches through the agency, and we're implementing these areas. I think those starting at the senior leadership, you know, at first I thought, well, we're starting with us, and then now we can get out of the way and just let the people who do the real work go, but that doesn't work. You have to keep going, and to learn it, you have to participate. So that's kind of our journey. So how do we do it? One of the first things was Kaizen. And what's a Kaizen? So in our world, a Kaizen is either it's a small improvement for the better. It can be big or small. It does not have to be changing the way we contract for consultant engineers. Was a Kaizen we did, but it doesn't have to be that big. The other big thing that we want to do is document it. I don't want to have one group on one side of the state reinvent what this other group did last year. How can we document it? And we talked about that, but I was at one of our maintenance units at their camp the other day, and I said, hey, where did you see this? Because I saw it somewhere else. We pulled it off the website. You know, that was like, hey, we did something and it's working, because they saw an improvement for the better, pulled it off, and went forward. The other thing we did, we set goals. You know, if we're going to do Kaizens, and what I tell people, we've been doing this for years, but we didn't document it. We didn't tell our story. You know, our maintenance folks, our construction folks, our designers make improvements all the time, but we don't tell our story. We don't document it. That's what we did. So we set a goal, 3,700, basically 1 Kaizen per employee. That was our goal. We reached it. So we went higher, and we've already exceeded the 5,000. for this year. Kismet, our lean chief person, is going to make me go further next year. The other thing we did was standard work. And as we went through our processes, I found we don't have always a standard way of doing things. This group did it a little different, or the same group did it different every time they went to do something. And one quick example, in our construction areas, believe it or not, in Arizona, we have winter shutdowns. But in Phoenix, we don't have winter shutdowns, but we have seasonal shutdowns. We can't do some things in the summer months. So when we'd stop work, one area stopped the clock. And those jobs usually finished on time. The other areas, they kept it running. And they had a good reason to do that, and then gave the contractor more time in the end. For the contractor, it really didn't matter. But when I looked at, did the job finish on time? These ones did not. These ones did. But we didn't have a standard work. So if I wanted to look at, hey, are we improving our construction on time delivery? We didn't have a standard way, so I didn't have a starting place to start my improvement. So we had to develop standard work. The next thing we were looking at is huddles. And we started very simple. We had huddle boards, and basically we told our folks, get something on the board. Tell us who you are, show us the measurements, what's your process, and we'll go from there. And we've grown. We're seeing much more measurements. We're having meaningful. This is a construction huddle board, and they track, are they making their payments on time? Do they get their diaries at the right time? It's meaningful for them. If we went out as the department and said, hey, you have to do it exactly this way, well, that's meaningful for Dallas, not for that unit. So we really worked with them to coach them. And then our coaching as we go out is, what if you try this? Not, hey, you didn't follow the format. Hey, this may make it a little better. And we've evolved to, and this was a big step that I've seen, and I'll admit that I'm not always the first on board, but I try to listen. So that sheet in the middle where you see some writing is our problem register. So if I have a huddle, so everyone coming together, talking about what's going on, does anyone have people that have problems? Do they always bring them up? No, they're afraid to bring up the huddles. The problems at the huddle. Well, someone will hear it there. We're pushing it. We encourage. Hey, and it could be as simple as I'm on the guardrail crew and I went out and I didn't have a tool. Well, that's a problem. We put it on the register. Did we not buy the tool? Did we not put it away? Is it lost? Did someone else take it? We're putting those down there. At our huddle meetings, we don't solve the problems right then. We identify them and then set aside, in the ideal world, I don't know, we always do it exactly right, but in the ideal world, we set aside some problem solving time. If we standardize, if I know exactly where the tool goes and I put it away in the exact place every time, it's going to be there. So Gemba, I think this has been the biggest one for me. Gemba, going where the work is done. Where is the value? Getting out and seeing our folks. And as a leader, it takes time to do it, but it's definitely the most rewarding part of my job. When I get to go out to a construction unit, our maintenance team, our design area, I come back energized. It doesn't always say I don't really want to go today, I have a lot of emails to read, but if I do it, I come back pumped up, because those folks are really making a difference. So for leadership to go out and see how the work's done, let them tell the story. It's your opportunity to also look, is there waste? And, we identify what kind of waste do we have. And I won't read them all, but a couple of them is inventory. One of the big challenges we had in our maintenance units, at the end of the year, you stocked up your inventory. And that's not bad if you're going to use it, for sure. It's maybe not good. But what we found is we stocked it up, and we didn't use that much guardrail posts that year. So they sat for a year. And then at the end of the next year, well, we may have a bigger year, so we bought more guardrail posts, and we didn't need any more guardrail. And our inventory just grew. Well, I can get guardrail and posts pretty quick. In today's world, if I need it, I can almost get it in a week. So do I need a year's worth of inventory when I can get it stocked up in a week if I need it? So we work with our folks to reduce that inventory. Overproduction. How many have produced more plans when you did a plan set and you just have a stack at the end of the job that no one even opened? a lot of waste there. But the biggest waste is our talent. If we are wasting all the talent we have, those 3,700 employees that ADOT has, if we don't identify challenges and look for ways of improvement, I'm wasting that talent. And that's our biggest opportunity to eliminate waste. This is one that's really jumped at us. 5S. And I'm really good at cleaning my desk every year if it needs it or not. And you know, I can sort it, I can set it in there, but my EA will tell me I don't sustain it. It's not standard, and you know, that's an area where I can improve. But our maintenance units have really seen huge values, and most of them had really clean yards. But we have lots of inventory, we have lots of different things. This is some paint. It's not real sloppy, but what's in there? We don't know if the can's empty, it's just stored in there. We went through and identified, we label it, we put it what we need. I have a few more slides on this because this is area we're really focusing on. One area, guardrail bolts. Okay? You know, it's real fun to inventory that. You throw all your bolts in a bin, and you know, we're supposed to do inventory on a regular basis. And I can guarantee we didn't inventory that, we just estimated. And then when you went out as a crew, you grabbed a handful or put a bucket in and you took what you thought you needed. What we did, we put them all in 50 bolts per, and we used the cylinder molds. Now when a crew goes out, they know, hey, on a day's work I need 100. They know they grab 2 cylinder molds, they got 100. They need to do inventory, they can do it, and they can get it done real fast. So it took a little time to get started, but now we're seeing that time savings on a daily basis. These are fence posts, and you know, you store them there. Again, inventory was a challenge. You have 50 in each of those little bins, and you see that they're red. But if I don't know which one to take it out of, I don't have 50 there anymore. So we tell them, only go out of the green. Again, when you do your inventory, you know exactly how much you have, and you can greatly reduce time. And that gets that talent doing the things you need them to do. Problem solving, and as an engineer, I really like problem solving. And this made, early on, this made a lot of sense to me. How do we problem solve? And there's a process, an 8-step process, plan, do, check, act. But if you look at it in the colors, most of the work is done in the plan. Those 8 steps, you have a lot of work to do in the plan. Yeah, first you have to identify your problem. You want to look and set a goal, look for a gap. You have to set targets. The other thing you have to do is know your process. You need to test it, see if it works, and then implement it. Maybe most of you are better than I am, but my first time usually doesn't work right. So when I test, I need to modify it and then go again. That's all right, and that's what we tell our folks. Test it. Let's make adjustments and continually to improve. So this is one of the ones I worked on. This is on-time project delivery. Remember I told you we had different ways of keeping track of time on projects? So if I figured, did we finish the contract on time? Well, I said, and at ADOT, 97% of our projects finished on time. We didn't charge it liquidated damages. But did they really finish on time? Or did I just give the contractor more days at the end of the project, and so I didn't say it went over time? So I changed how we measured it. The day we started to the original day we were finishing. If we went over for any reason, good reason, bad reason, whatever, it went over time. So we set a standard, how do we measure it? And then started looking at the process. Then you have to look at where is there a chance for that to break out. And that's why we map those out. Every step of the process, and we look, where is there a chance that the project could break down? And we identified it. I had contractors in the room, I had designers in the room. Sometimes it's a design issue, sometimes it's a contract issue, sometimes it's a department issue because we didn't make a decision. We looked at all of those and started breaking them down. We looked on the bottom there are those different challenges. Well, where does it happen the most? That's what we tackled first. And I'm going pretty fast, so I only had 20 minutes. I tried to get, the other 20 minutes from Colorado, and they said no. So the last tool that we use through our process is leader standard work, and this took me a little while to grasp. But as a leader, what things should I do on a daily basis to change our culture? For us to make this happen, we have to change culture. And that includes me. I have to change the way I do things. So I have a checklist in my office, and I really work to look at it on a daily basis and make sure it happens. And most of them are easy. The first thing on there to do every day is to recognize somebody. That's not hard, but to do it every day. As a leader, showing that recognition on a daily basis is a great thing. Did I go out and do a gimbal walk at least once a week? Did I go see where the work is actually done? Did I go to the director's huddle meeting? Did I have my own huddle? We have business reviews. For myself, I've changed it, so recognition is easy to make a check mark. So what I've changed on mine is, who did I recognize? So I have to write it. The director's not coming in to see who did Dallas recognize. That's how I hold myself accountable, because I have to write a name in there, not a check mark. Scorecards. And I don't expect you to read what we have, but what I put this on here is we have scorecards. Green is good, yellow has some concern, and red, we're not meeting our target. There's a lot of red up there. We've been challenging ourselves and our teams. Don't be afraid of the red. That gives us opportunities. When we first even went to the governor's office, hey, you have a lot of green. And we used the term watermelon. Anyone know what a watermelon goal is except the ADOT folks? A watermelon goal is green on the outside, but it's red on the inside. So, we look at those. Are they good goals to have? Are they good measurements? And we embrace the red. The other thing we do is look at data and use that data to make decisions. And this gives me a chance. This is our fatalities. We have way too many fatalities in Arizona. Last year we had 999. We had over 100 more than the year before. We're losing way too many people on our roadways. But one of the things is use the data. We put in heat maps so we can see where are they happening. How can we target and use our money the best way? Now we're going to look at what are more of the causes in specific areas, not on the whole state, but the center of the state where it's red is Phoenix. Well, there's 4 million people, so you'd expect that they would have a few more. But there's some hot spots in rural Arizona too. What can we do to do things better? What are our successes? One of our huge successes, Arizona, like some states, but other states don't have motor vehicles. We have motor vehicles in our area. At our busiest Phoenix office, they were averaging over an hour of wait time. And we measured wait time at the motor vehicle was when you got in, you got a number, and when you got to the window. But as a customer of the service, do you care what your wait time is? You want your experience time. I walked in the door here, I walked out then. So we started, that was one of the first changes. We looked at their experience time. They walk in, they walk out. Right now, through different things that we've done, their experience time is around 28 minutes or a little less at the busiest locations. And not only at that one area, but we're sustaining that throughout the state. Permit delivery, these are encroachment permits. The simple ones, my team was taking 56 days on average to get done. Way too long. Right now, we're under 10. We went through a plan, do, check process, and I think the last month it was like 3 days. We were over-processing. We did everything in series instead of parallel, and we're making great improvements. Where can we improve? Project Closeout. Those I put out and tie up my federal funds. Well, if I do that, I can't spend it. If I close it out faster, now I can put it on another project. And we're getting pretty good on our construction closeouts, but we also tied up money in design and right-of-way in utilities, and we were not doing very well there. So how do we completely close the job? So we're getting a process, we're going through our 8-step, our problem solving, and we're getting a way to do that. The other one is now that I have some standards in the on-time construction delivery, I can look at how can we improve and get those projects done, get the people using it a lot faster. If we change leadership at ADOT, would I still do this? Well, one that the governor told me not to, I probably wouldn't. But I would have a conversation if I had a new director that we should, because we are seeing improvements. We're getting things done with 30, we're a little under 37 right now. We're still getting things done. We're doing it more efficiently, and we are productive at our 3,700. So my answer is yes, I would want to keep going, sustain where we've grown, and share with our folks. Thank you very much.